Welcome back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. On track now is your Collegiate Racing Series for race number 2. Here with me in the booth is Ralph Shaheen, Hall of Fame announcer. I'm Nick Soriano. Ralph, how you doing today?
Nick, I have been on pins and needles since we finished that last race, because what we saw in race number 1 was so exciting at the front. 4 cars battling for the win all the way through that first race. Now knowing that the adrenaline is still there, but it's down a little bit, right? It's more manageable now. The butterflies are gone. These guys and gals are ready to go racing hard, and I can't wait to see what we get here in race number 2.
Yeah, the race 1 was beyond our wildest expectations. We were all a little curious about what was going to happen, and these students brought out a show, and it was a class act. It was awesome.
We knew the Mazda would be a great platform to go racing with, right? I mean, it's been proven for decades now that this car is a great race car. What we didn't know is how these teams were going to come together. We saw that Friday and Saturday, and they blew everybody's minds away with how they really got together and worked hard, helping each other, not just within their own team, but team to team, helping each other in the paddock. And then the final thing was, how are these guys and gals going to race as drivers? Because there's huge disparity in the levels of past history with these drivers. Some have driven multiple different series in the past. Some, we had one driver competing for Tulane earlier today in race number 1, never been in a race before in his entire life. They did a great job finishing in the top 5. So now, here we go with race number 2, and it should only be even better.
Absolutely. I think the talent disparity was one of our biggest issues that we were nervous about, but it didn't seem to be a factor whatsoever. So now we've got our teams back on track. They're behind the pace car. I hear the lights are turning off.
Yeah, let's give you a quick rundown through the starting lineup of our 6 team cars as we get ready to go with race number 2 for the Collegiate Racing Series. We will start based on how we finished race number 1. So Rocky Top, which represents Tennessee, will start on pole. Trenton Sparks will get the driving duties this time behind the Volunteers car. Fordham, which finished second in race number 1, will go second here in race 2 with Giancarlo Geckel getting the start again. He did run race number 1. Rice will have Ellis Vance behind the wheel. Ellis's first race in the car. Gobbler Racing, which represents Virginia Tech, will start 4th. Riley Haig back behind the wheel again. Tulane finished 5th. They will start 5th. Preston Leprechaun will get his first start in the series. And rounding out the field in 6th, Queen City Racing, which represents Cincinnati, will put Thomas Ashby behind the wheel for the first time. So only Riley Haig and Giancarlo Geckel are the only 2 drivers that ran race number 1 who are back in race number 2.
I'm interested to see what the strategy was for these teams to choose these drivers. And now as the pace car pulls down pit road, we're going to see some green flag action here pretty soon.
Yeah, and that was Jacob Meek, who ran for Rocky Top, that got the win in race number 1. And now Trenton Sparks leads them down the hill to the green flag, and we are underway with race number 2 for the Collegiate Racing Series as we head down towards turn number 1. Rocky Top with a good lead. Fordham solidly in second. Here comes the Gobbler Racing entry on the inside. Will take 3rd away from Rice, I should say, as they head up the hill and into the S's. A very, very fast section of racetrack.
Yeah, great start from the Rocky Top team. They were able to break away. Now we saw in the last race how important the draft was. These cars are still very close, so despite having a great start, doesn't mean anyone's going to run away with it.
Looks like Tulane is back into 5th, and then Queen City is in 6th. And then that 7th car that you see back there, that is Kaylin Kinley in the 17 out of Osteen, Florida. She is 17 years of age, and she is in the developmental program for Collegiate Racing Series. So she's a high school student, and when she goes on to college, wherever she goes, hopefully there'll be a Collegiate Racing Series team at that university, and she will be all set to come racing with us in CRS.
Yeah, getting started at that age has got to be a huge development. I think we could see scholarships coming out of this CRS.
How about NIL money?
Yeah, NIL money. There we go.
Who knows where this is going to go? Where we do know we're going is down the backstretch here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, and doing it quickly as they come screaming past our camera here in a good battle now for second place as Fordham has inched right up on the back bumper of Gobbler Racing. Taking a look to the inside here. Under braking, and we're going to have a change for second. Fordham back into second place, and Gobbler already trying to counter as we come up underneath the Fox Bridge and head back down to the front straightaway.
Yeah, great move there into turn 10. It's a textbook spot for them to be making a pass. We saw it in other series throughout the day, and these college kids learn quick, you know?
Well, and we're seeing great things out of Tulane now. They are sitting in fifth, which is where they finished in race number 1, but they are challenging for fourth. So they are already picking up a lot of speed and gaining a lot of skill in this series and starting to make headway as they try to improve here at Road Atlanta. The green wave trying to become a checkered flag here.
Yeah, what a cool section of track right there. Turn 3 and 4. Car likes to bounce up on two wheels as you go over the curb. It's a real roller coaster of a section. And I have to imagine that regardless of where they are on track, they're having a great time going through there.
If you have an issue with motion sickness, that is not your favorite part of this racetrack, I promise you.
Not at all. That is definitely one that will shake you up a little bit. Riding on board of Gobbler Racing here through turns 6 and 7. This is the back part of the track, the furthest away from where we are sitting here at the tower.
And a very tricky section, slowest portion of the racetrack, but if you don't get it right, it kills your speed down this long back section and just destroys your lap time. But keep an eye on this man right here, Riley Haig, because Riley, who finished 4th in the Gobbler Racing entry in race number 1, as we see potential challenge for the lead here as Fordham moves to the inside off Rocky Top using that draft on the outside under braking. That's not where you want to be. You're going to want to be on the inside there, and it's not going to work out. And Tennessee is going to hold on for a moment. Nope, next corner he's going to lose 2 spots because Riley Haig picks him off as well. Now Riley with a great run headed into the final corner here. We could see Gobbler going to the lead at the start-finish line. We've got a new leader here. Oh, and Riley gets loose and gathers it up, does a tremendous job of staying calm, easy on that wheel, doesn't make any radical adjustments with the steering wheel, and only falls back to 3rd. But that could have been absolutely disastrous, Nick.
It really could have. What a great save from Gobbler Racing there.
That's the best piece of driving we've seen all weekend right there.
Absolutely fantastic to save it there. Here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, that is a classic spot where cars really can get torn up and out of sorts. And I don't know 100% about Riley's experience here at this particular track, but handled it like a veteran.
Well, Riley grew up coming to this racetrack. He spent a lot of time here, but coming here and watching is a whole lot different than coming here and racing. I can promise you that.
It sure is. Yeah, being behind the wheel definitely gives you more of an appreciation for some of the respect you have to give these corners at this track. It is not for the faint of heart when you're driving at 10/10ths.
Here's the thing about Riley. He finished 4th in race number 1, but he ran the quickest lap in race number 1 by a 1/10 of a second quicker than the Fordham Racing entry of Giancarlo. And Riley's dad was a racer, did a lot of amateur racing, and that's what pretty much got Riley interested in motorsports. And Riley was the one who had the vision to get Virginia Tech through Gobbler Racing involved in the Collegiate Racing Series. So here comes our squads all battling now once again, headed down to the very quick chicane section here in a battle again, 3 cars for the lead. Fordham out front. Rocky Top trying to find a way, and Gobbler right there with Rice and Tulane right on their heels.
Wow.
Now let's see if Riley gets smoother through this section this time.
Yeah.
Gobbler back in 4th on the outside this time, fighting with Tulane. Tulane in 4th. And we see Rice in 5th. And snuck right in the middle there was Rocky Top, which holds on to 2nd place. Man, that's some tight racing in there.
That really is impressive to see. 3 wide racing from these. Look, you can tell Tulane got a little crossed up. We've got the windshield wipers on a very pretty day. So obviously,
for everything you can in the cockpit, right?
That's right. Anything that you can do to grab a little bit of a foothold there and keep the car going in the right direction.
So Tulane finished 5th in race number 1 with Kenny Flanders behind the wheel. And here in race number 2, it's Preston Leprechaun getting the start. They're going to have 3 drivers when we get to the endurance race coming up, the last event of the afternoon here and the weekend at Michelin Raceway.
That's going to be a very cool event, seeing them run and do driver changes. A little bit of strategy involved there when you make your pit stops, and it's going to shake things up.
And we're on board there with Riley Haig. It looks like Gobbler Racing sitting in second place. Gobbler representing Virginia Tech. Hence the Gobbler. We were asking Riley if driver intros, they were going to come out to enter Sandman like the football team does. And he says, we're working on that.
What an entry that would be to have here in the Collegiate Racing
That would
Series.
easily be the best one in all of motorsports, right?
Oh, yeah. We'll see if we can get the tracks to do some light work for him as well.
Giancarlo in that Fordham machine, really sliding the car through the chicane here. And he comes up over the hill. Giancarlo spent a lot of time ski racing, slalom, giant slalom, and downhill. So he is definitely one who loves speed. And how about Tulane up into third with Rice back in fifth? Remember, Tulane was fifth in race number 1, and they're looking at a podium here in race number 2. How exciting is that for the Green Wave?
A great turnaround for them. They've really been able to get it together, and I know that they met during the time in between their sessions, and it seems to have paid off. They're really focused and dialed in.
Racing just as intense here in race number 2 of the Collegiate Racing Series as we saw in race number 1. Sun is out now, and here comes Riley through the grass trying to make a move in the Gobbler Racing entry. The fight for second is on between Tulane and Gobbler, and Riley is using up literally every inch of the racetrack. He's got the right line here, headed down into 7. This is really, that inside line is going to give him at 6 and 7 the spot he needs to get out onto that back straightaway and get a good run. He has cleared the Tulane car now, and that'll move Kenny Flanders back to third. Gobbler goes up to second, and Rice is back here in fifth with, it looks like, Rocky Top sliding back to fourth.
A great move from Gobbler Racing around the outside of turn 5 there. Not for the faint of heart. You've really got to commit to that and drive over the rumbles, and did it textbook. That was exactly the way to do it. When you've got the momentum, you've got to take the opportunity, and it paid off.
And it's Trenton Sparks driving for Rocky Top, which is representing the University of Tennessee, as opposed to Jacob Mink, who won for them in race number 1. Here they come through the chicane again. There's Gobbler sitting in second. Here they come down the hill. And look at Giancarlo. He's got a nice, healthy lead now for Fordham. And then we had Gobbler, Tulane, Rocky Top, and a good battle now brewing for third. Rocky Top taking a peek to the inside, headed to 1. Side by side under the braking. And they are still side by side as they head back up the hill and into the S's with just a nose going to Rice.
Just able to squeeze it out, but I don't think this is over yet. Rocky Top's still trying to make a move.
Yep, that's a Tulane car right there in front of him, the 504 on the door there. That, of course, the area code for New Orleans, which is where Tulane is located at.
I really enjoyed when I saw that was how they chose their car number.
It's pretty smart marketing, huh?
I thought it was a great move by that team. And here's Rocky Top trying to make a move, coming back towards them at turn number 6. Too far to make a move right now, but a good exit of 7 and a draft. Turn 10 looks like a good passing opportunity if they can make it work.
Top 4 spaced out a little bit now on this lap. And here comes Rice back in 5th as we get out on that long back section of racetrack. And Queen City Racing sitting in 6th. And boy, they have had their challenges here this weekend. Remember, they tore up the front of their car yesterday, worked hard late last night to get the car ready to go, changed a couple of motor mounts within less than half an hour for the start of race number 1 here today. So those kids over there at Queen City, we say kids because they're all students, but those young men. Oh, we got the Tulane car off course here at the chicane. Let's see if he can get that righted and back out on the track. That would be Preston Lebrecon making his debut in the series. And he's going to slip back to 6th. He's going to have to make up some ground here. Yeah, he's going to fall back behind the 17.
A little bit of body work hanging off the back. Doesn't look like it's going to affect performance, but little bit of tape to get that car ready for the next race should be all it takes.
And that 17 is, again, Kaylin Kinley. She's just 17 years old from Osteen, Florida, which is in the center of the state between Daytona Beach and Orlando.
Yeah, she's keeping up with the pack, too, driving
all she
definitely
does
an
is
out-of-spec
race these
car.
Miatas, and everything she does behind the wheel of racing. She told me she's never raced anything but a Miata, so she knows these cars inside and out.
No kidding. Wow, yeah, having that experience in these cars is very valuable. And
Paying off.
I bet an athletic director out there is starting to think, how do we get some recruiting budgets sent her way?
Oh, yeah. She said she's going to make a career out of the automotive industry. Doesn't know exactly how, but she's going to go to college for engineering and hopes to do it in racing.
Ralph, did you know what you wanted to do at 17 that well?
I did.
Okay, well, good for you.
I know
didn't.
not many did, but I did. And somehow, 40 years later, I'm still doing it.
Hey, and that's why you're in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I don't know if that's it. the $100 I spent buying that guy dinner one night might have got me in at least one of them.
It's not about how you get there. It's
That's
about
right.
getting
Nobody
there.
asked you how you won, right? Just did you win?
That's right.
All right, here comes the leaders down the hill. It's Fordham out front with Gobbler right on the tail as we get late into this one. We're going to have a good fight to the finish there. Rocky Top up to third. Down the hill comes the rest of the field, and it's going to be Rice in fourth with our young gal out of Florida running in fifth. And then there's Tulane, with that extra piece hanging off the back. Oh, another one off here.
That's your
and
leader.
That's Gobbler, so that would have been Fordham going off course. So issues for Fordham just going into the S's. And here comes Queen City at the back end of the field.
Fordham able to get it collected and staying right in the back now. We're riding along board with Fordham and Ram Racing.
Yeah, that's Giancarlo Geckel.
And they are certainly not out of
racer.
it. A ski racer into a car has got to be one of the coolest transitions of racing I've heard of.
You a skier? You're from Florida, so not a lot of skiing down there.
That's right. I have skied before. I do not call myself a skier by any means.
No?
But you hear a lot about motorcycle racers and maybe bicyclists and things like that coming into the sport. But to hear a ski racer joining us in road racing is definitely a new one for me in my very limited years of broadcasting so far.
Well, both of Giancarlo's parents were racers on the amateur level, so he's spent his whole life around the racetrack. You remember Phil and Steve Mayer?
Yeah.
Olympic champions.
I do
Team
remember
USA.
those names, yeah.
Yeah, they're great skiers, and they became professional racers, car racers.
So there is a pathway there.
There is a path.
So if you're a ski racer out there listening, maybe...
And I was, and I'm a broadcaster.
Okay.
So there's that.
So you've got two pipeline ski racers listening along.
Well, I was no Phil or Steve Mayer, I can tell you. I'm not even sure I was a Giancarlo Geckel, but here we are today having a good time. And the battling continues out of turn number one, that fight for the lead. Man, this is going to be a great finish.
It really is. Those top two cars have been trading spots back and forth for the last 2 or 3 laps now. And we're going to ride on board the Gobbler car to see what they have left in the tank to try and run down the Fordham's Ram Racing.
Well, you can see Giancarlo really fighting to keep that car headed straight. And we know Riley's not afraid to use up all the racetrack. So if Riley can get connected to the back bumper here, that Fordham car, we're going to have a serious battle to the finish.
Yeah, they are.
Look at that thing sliding. The Fordham car really sliding through turn 7.
These ND Miatas already slide a lot when they're in their full race spec slicks. And now for the College Racing Series, they get to run a little more budget-friendly street tire. I can only imagine how tricky it is to have that throttle control and be able to work these cars around that already want to slide around with extra grip. And now you said, hey, we're going to save you some money and let you sling this thing for real. And this is the result you get. Some great racing.
Hey, hang on. He had that thing completely sideways going through the chicane, and Haig is right on him as he goes to the outside underneath the Fox Bridge. down the hill. Here they come. And Fordham just out in front right now. And diving to the inside, here comes Gobbler Racing. Riley trying to side draft off of him, going down into turn one, pushes him out wide a little bit, takes advantage of it, and Gobbler's back into the lead here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta for now. Because as they go up to the S's, Nick, anything can change up there.
It sure can, and they're still side by side. We have not sorted this one out completely. And
yeah, they are.
There goes Gobbler Racing, finally able to make the pass stick. It took 4 corners, but they got there. Gobbler Racing back into the lead down through the S's.
Riley Haig driving for Gobbler. Giancarlo Geckel driving for Fordham. Trenton Sparks behind the wheel for Rocky Top. Ellis Vance getting the duties behind the wheel at Rice. Preston Leprechaun at Tulane. Thomas Ashby for Queen City Racing. And then Kalen Kinley doing the duty in our development category. And this is the fight right here. Under braking at 7. Giancarlo really putting the pressure on the backside of Gobbler. And Riley getting a mirror full of that Fordham entry.
Yeah, he is all over the back bumper. The draft is in full effect here. They are.
And look, he's giving some hand signals. You see, hey, giving some hand signals to Giancarlo. Giancarlo says, okay, here I come then. Right on your outside. They're going to be door to door as they go into the braking at the chicane down here. Giancarlo in the right spot to the inside. And he's been loose through here. Much tidier this time. Haig tries to counter back to the inside as they come up under the bridge. Haig will have the advantage at the final corner, and he'll make it work as they come down the hill.
Here they come nose to tail. 4 minutes remaining on our timer. So it's going to come down to the wire. Probably a white flag very soon, if I had to guess.
Rocky Top in third. Kaylin has moved herself up into fourth. Our young 17-year-old gal doing a tremendous job. Then it's Rice and Tulane running 5th and 6th with Queen City Racing hanging on in 7th.
And the battle's continuing here, riding along board again. Fordham's Ram Motorsport Racing right on the back bumper of the 55. Gobbler Racing representing Virginia Tech through turn 5 up the hill here.
Look at them fighting that steering wheel.
Whoa.
That's Giancarlo there we're watching, right?
It is, yes. We're riding alongside on board with the Fordham car. So
adjusting the mirror real quick. No need to worry about anything behind you, Giancarlo. You guys are clear.
Yep.
It's going to be settled between these two. Rocky Top will move into second or for the win only if something goes wrong with these first two up top.
And knowing the way most Miata racing happens, there is a good possibility. I'm not ruling anything out. I think anyone in the top 5
here.
has a shot at the win.
If you're on the track, you got a shot.
Ain't that the truth?
Should be coming to the white flag this time by the start-finish line. Back towards the chicane one more time.
Out of striking range for any moves this time, but
10A and B.
All
we go.
Fordham needs to do is stay close at turn 7 on the last lap.
Yeah,
and they've got a
Giancarlo
shot.
can put the right amount of pressure on. You're right. He can make something happen down that long backstretch. Down the hill they come. About half a car length between the two. And in one of these cars, that's not a lot. Inside, Fordham making the move on Gobbler. Who's going to get it coming out of turn number 1? Looks like Gobbler still out in front. No, it's Fordham. And then Gobbler right there to the inside. Oh, got up on the rumble strips there a little bit on the curbing. That almost upset the Fordham car.
Look at them nose to tail through the S's. Not much between these two.
Riley really putting the pressure on Giancarlo right now. Here he comes, thinking about it. Which way am I going to go? Outside, headed towards 6. Hard braking down here.
Does he have enough to clear?
Not
quite.
Over to 7, and then we get ready for that long run down the backstretch. Here they come. Riley off in the dirt. Keeps it headed forward, and off we go. This is where the draft comes into play. Can Riley close in and then get to the inside? Now, I would think Giancarlo would protect that inside a little bit here, and that's exactly what he does. Forces Riley to the outside. Riley with a great head of steam, and Gobbler Racing pulling right up alongside and inching past. He'll be on the outside going into 10A, but he'll have the inside at 10B. So if he can stay right there, it still might work out. Fordham, first one into the section of racetrack at A, and he'll come out with the lead at 10B, and Riley a little bit loose on exit. Down the hill, here we come. Checkered flag waiting. Who's it going to be? Gobbler to the inside. Give the win to Fordham. Gobbler will take second here in race number 2 for the Collegiate Racing Series. Coming to the line, it'll be third place. Going their second top 3 of the day goes to Rocky Top, with Kalen getting 4th overall.
Don't
Doing
look
a
now,
great
though.
job, our young 17-year-old. Here comes the battle with Tulane and Rice. Tulane is going to get it just in front of Rice, and Queen City Racing will come around to round out the field of cars here today in race number 2 of the Collegiate Racing Series.
Well, we're 2 for 2 on good races in this Collegiate Racing Series so far. They're batting 1,000 with entertainment, and I just can't wait till race number 3 now.
Yeah, and it's going to be totally different, right? Because that's an endurance race. So these guys have, and here's the other thing to take note of. Riley and Giancarlo will both be driving in the endurance race, and I know for a fact Giancarlo is going to do the whole thing himself. Riley hadn't decided yet, as Queen City now makes their way across the start-finish line to close out race number 2 for their effort. Each team has to make 2 pit stops, but you don't have to change driver. But what you do have to do is your driver has to get out of the car as if he was changing and then get back in.
Okay.
So even if Giancarlo goes the whole distance, he still has to get out of the car. So they make sure that even though you're going with one guy, time-wise, you don't get an advantage.
Yeah, so that is definitely going to make strategy part of the equation now. It's not just who can run the best laps, it's who's going to...
And who's going to be able to run all those laps. Don't forget, Giancarlo and Riley have already done 2 races, sprint races, but a lot of effort on a very hot day, hot and humid day here. And now you got an hour and 15-minute race coming up for the endurance race.
And a quick turnaround, too. There's not much time between now and that next race. So I'm sure all the racers will be getting fluids in, staying nice and hydrated, ready to go.
And I'll see you then.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Ralph, thank you so much for joining me in the booth for our coverage of the Collegiate Racing Series. Up next, we have FARA's HPDE group, so we will not be commentating during that, but we will be back. The next thing you will see is Formula FARA race number 3 coming up in just a bit. Following Formula FARA race 3, exactly what we just talked about, the Collegiate Racing Series race 3 and Enduro, starting around 3:45. So a lot more racing. We're not done yet. We started 8 a.m. this morning and we're going to keep going. So don't go anywhere. My name is Nick Soriano. Just had Ralph Shaheen with me in the booth. We'll be back at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta very soon, so stay tuned.